Hi guys, tried to be normal here. It's January 8th, about 10 o'clock at night for me, 2019, and I just figured this was a relevant page from Washington Examiner. It's by Melissa Quinn, dated January 9th, 2019. Ginsburg can stay on the Supreme Court and vote no matter how sick or disabled she becomes. With Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg continuing to recover from cancer surgery, it's my understanding they took several cancerous nodules out of her lungs, whispers about whether she should step down have grown louder. But as a member of the Supreme Court with life tenure, Ginsburg can remain on the bench for as long as she desires, no matter how sick she becomes. Ginsburg had surgery December 21st to remove 2 malignant nodules found in her left lung and has been recuperating at home ever since. The procedure kept Ginsburg off the bench on Monday and Tuesday, marking the first time she missed oral arguments in her 25-year tenure on the Supreme Court. Though she was not present for oral arguments, Chief Justice John Roberts said Ginsburg could participate in the cases by reading briefs and argument transcripts from home. In addition to reviewing relevant case material from home, Ginsburg has also voted in matters before the court. There is no written rule prohibiting justices who are missing from the bench from casting their votes. Boy, it's too bad Justice Antonin Scalia didn't get that chance. Before her cancer surgery last month, for example, Ginsburg voted remotely to deny requests from the Trump administration to enforce its new asylum policy, according to reports. Gee, I wonder if it had been a conservative judge if they'd went to all this much trouble to make sure his vote counted. At 85, Ginsburg is not the oldest justice to have served on the High Court and not the only one to have battled illnesses during that tenure. It says here that Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes and John Paul Stevens both had the good sense to retire at 90, and Chief Justice William Rehnquist served on the Supreme Court until his death in September 2005, nearly 1 year after he was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. Rehnquist, like Ginsburg, also worked from his home while recovering in October 2004 from a tracheotomy in connection with his cancer diagnosis. At the time, Stevens, who presided over the court during Rehnquist's absence, said Rehnquist reserves the right, quote-unquote, to vote in cases before the court, including those in which he is not present for oral arguments. Ginsburg has also battled cancer twice before. In 1999, she was treated for colon cancer, and in 2009, she was treated for pancreatic cancer. In my opinion, we need some of the legislature to step in here, and Supreme Court justices, their decisions are tantamount to the rule of law in this country. Their decisions have consequences, and in my humble opinion, any justice, Supreme Court justice, or maybe even district or circuit judge for that matter, that has in this bad a shape like this, where there could be cognitive issues, shouldn't be allowed to continue on the Supreme Court. There should be, in my opinion, a mechanism for removing justices once they've been sick or physically or mentally disabled. Now, I understand that the mentally disabled part kind of wades into murky waters, because with the climate nowadays and people making accusations and accusations become, guilty verdicts, that might be a little bit contentious to think that there would ever be justices that leftist people don't like, and they wouldn't level things at them, accusations at them. I guess mental stability is subjective, depending on the point of view of the beholder, So all I know is that there should be maybe a life tenure, what sounded like a good thing at the time, but there should be provisions, in my opinion, for people who are physically, at least, if not mentally, obviously disabled. There should be tests to go through, just like a driving test. You get to be in your 60s and 70s and go in for your driving test. In most states, they have extra tests they want you to do, or they want you to come in and prove you're still proficient in driving a car. Well, if we have to be tested in order to drive a car in this country, then we darn sure should be tested to prove our ability to to preside on the Supreme Court of the United States. That's just my opinion. It's kind of like the voter ID thing. We have to have a ID card in order to rent a video from Blockbuster, but not to vote. This country needs to look at its priorities, and we need to do what's right for the country, not what protects certain individuals. I just thought you guys might be interested in that. Y'all have a nice evening.